So, quick story is, it was early 2003. It was almost exactly 15 years ago. I read Richard Koch's book, and I was like, oh my goodness, 80-20, that's chaos theory. It's fractal. Oh my word. That's like, oh, let's see. This would be, there's like a curve here. It looks like this, and and then like this would be the selling the $5 espressos, and this would be the $2,700 espresso machine, and that's a calculus formula. And how would you figure out the calculus formula? And I was like, dang, how would you figure this out? And I was like really like trying to chisel away on it, and I was not getting anywhere. I was just kind of lost, but I knew I could draw it on a napkin, and I could sort of figure out how it might work, and I was puzzled about it. It was like, wow, it'd be really cool if I could figure this out. So that was going on, and I remember this one day, it was a Friday. The other thing that was going on was 3 days before, I had done it wasn't a webinar, it was a teleseminar, and I had learned that in the same fashion as which they'll drive product sales to the back of a room at a seminar, you could do a similar version on a teleseminar, and you could sell product on a teleseminar. And I got John Mendoza to help me, and I wrote a script. And I'd only been in business for a year and a half at this point, and I had a little list, and I had gotten 200 people to sign up on a teleseminar, and I'd sold $11,000 of stuff in 1 hour, which just like blew my mind. I mean, I was probably making that in a month. I was like, I just made $11,000 in 1 freaking hour. Oh my word, caveman discovers fire. And I was actually thinking, I wonder if I could use my business to help this little project in Mozambique that my brother-in-law was working on. And so I was thinking about calculus in Mozambique all day long, as you do. So there was this music thing at church, and Laura goes, hey, why don't you watch the kids, and I'll watch the kids and you can go to that thing. So I go to this thing, and there's this crazy hippie music playing, and I'm in La La Land, and I'm thinking about calculus formulas, and I'm thinking about Mozambique. And all of a sudden, this woman walks right up to me. She just marches right up to me, and she sticks out her hand, and she says, hi, my name is Vivian, and the Lord gave me a word for you. And I'm like, I've heard of this. I've never seen it. And she goes, the Lord told me that you are very, very good at math, and you're working some kind of a formula, some kind of equation, or some kind of invention, and you're going to figure it out. And I look around like, how many people in this room listen to this crazy music are working on a math problem right now? Like one. And I thought, man, that is crazy. And then she turns and she starts to walk away, and then she spins back around and she goes, oh, and he told me something else too. She goes, you want to support missions, and God is going to bless your business so you can support missions. Calculus in Mozambique. Whoa. And I was shocked at the first part. When she got to the second part, I was almost in tears. And all I could do, I just stared at her and I said, if only you knew. And she goes, he knows. And she just walked away. And I stood there and I'm like, did that just happen? Oh my word, that just happened. Like, this woman read me my mail. Apparently, I'm supposed to still keep working on this calculus formula. Apparently, my business is going to get better. Wow. Okay, and this like really, this stripped my gears. I was like, I just got a memo from the head office, man. Whoa. Well, 10 years went by, and I didn't see this lady, and I didn't know who she was. When 80/20 sales and marketing came out, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. 3 years later, I figured this out. I would work on it, and I would get stuck, and I would work on it, and I would get stuck. 3 years later, I figured it out. And it is the backbone of 80/20 sales and marketing. It's the backbone of the whole espresso machine tool. It's a calculus formula. In fact, the formula is getting published in Harvard Business Review in Italy because they like Pareto in the summer. And so, huge deal. And I'm really glad I figured it out because as far as I know, I'm the first person to popularize the idea that 80/20 is fractal. And I think it's a law of cause and effect that is fractal. Like, everybody should know this. They should teach it in grade school. Well, so that came true. Well, the other thing is a few months later, my business just started growing, and it grew and it grew and it grew. And 2 years go by, and my business is probably 5x the size that it had been. And I was like, wow, and yeah, I helped things in Mozambique, and I was like, wow, like this all came true. So not only did she read my mail, but like my whole life changed. And so, but like, who was that lady anyway? Well, I knew this guy named Pete, and Pete, somehow or another, I ended up telling this story. He's like, oh, I know her. He goes, she does that to everybody. Oh yeah, you had a Vivian moment. Well, so when 80/20 Sales and Marketing came out, somebody who has that book, open to the dedication and read me what it says. There's a dedication right in the front of the book. What does it say?
To the master mathematician and to Vivian, wisdom was created before all things, and the understanding of prudence is before all time. Sirach 1:4. Yes,
which is a verse from the Catholic Apocrypha, which I'm a Protestant, so people think that's kind of funny. So the book comes out, and it's hot off the printing press, and I got these boxes of books, and I'm like, I have got to find this woman. Like, where is she? So we start looking, and I eventually found her, and I had dinner with her and her husband, and it was really wonderful. She had no idea any of this was going on, right? She remembered it. Actually, what she remembered, she's having an argument with the head office. I don't know where I am. I don't go to church here. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who that guy is, and I don't want to talk to him. And she's getting like, talk to that guy. So she did, and it changed my life. Well, so we hashed this crazy idea. And so Vivian and I have become great friends, and she's kind of like almost like a sister to me now. And she's great, and she keeps doing this to me. It's great. So we said, hey, I got this crazy idea. Let's do a webinar where I've got Vivian and a couple of other people who can do this, and let's just like we'll have a moderator, and so we do this now. It's like Jen will say, Sharon F, go, and then Vivian will give something for Sharon F. And it's the craziest thing, and we call it memos from the head office. And it's so uncanny and so accurate. This has become the most popular thing in Renaissance Club. So in a typical webinar, for marketing stuff, we'll get 60 or 80 people to show up and actually be on the webinar, and not the ones that listen to recordings or whatever else. We've had to take the memos thing, we now have them every week, and we've broken them up, and basically more than 120 people every month are sitting on a webinar waiting for their turn for somebody who has no idea who they are to like just give them a memo. And a lot of people find this very encouraging. And one of the things that people find is, you know, guess what? You're not alone. Let's just put it that way. So, I love this. This is awesome. I love it. So, it might be a memo, I don't know. I don't know what it means.